This is how I pause and breathe. I read, and I absolutely love reading. And I've collected all these books from my bookshelves, and I would like to share some of these books with you. I'm going to start with the Bible, and I have a whole pile in front of me. I have one of my favorites, the Life Principle Bible from Charles F. Stanley. It was a gift to my husband, but I got hold of it, and now we both have a copy, and it's lying around the house, and sometimes at night when I can't sleep, I love to read in that. A translation that I absolutely love is the Amplified, and I go back to it again and again, and when something is not exactly the way I completely, fully grasp and understand it, my Amplified is my go-to. But I also love poetry. Eugene Peterson, The Message, my absolute favorite, all-time favorite Bible translation. And I love spending time in The Message, and sometimes I'll be reading in my NIV, which is this one, but then I'll be like, I wonder how it sounds like in The Message. So these are my Bibles. These are the ones I love. I still have my CEF Bible, but I decided not to go and fetch that one. And I'm one of those people that love daily devotions. I know I also have my Bible reading plans. And the person that got me into Bible reading plans was Selwyn Hughes. So he is a very big favorite in my life. And it all started with his books. He's got a series, cover to cover. And he taught me to read my Bible in chronological order. And it was such an eye-opener to me when they put Job right after Noah and the ark. And that explains some of the animals that occur in Job. So Selwyn Hughes, I liked him so much, I bought his autobiography. And his grandparents was in one of the Wales revivals in 1904, and to read how he was lying under the table and listening to his grandparents tell his parents some of the stories and tales of this Welsh revival changed my life. And he always wanted to have a worldwide revival. And so I also love his devotionals. As you can see, I've got 4 of them, but there's some in the bookshelf that I did not bring out. But Selwyn Hughes, a huge favorite. It is such a pity that they don't always print his books in South Africa anymore, and so it's always a huge hullabaloo to find his books online. But from there, I've decided I'll go to Nancy Lee DeMoss and Revive Our Heart. I started off when a friend gave me Brokenness, Surrender, and Holiness. 3 books that completely and utterly turned me inside out. She also wrote, together with Mary Cassian, 2 extraordinary Bible studies. And I love Bible studies. I used to do all of Beth Moore's Bible studies until I discovered these. True Woman 101 and 201. An absolute must. And I can go on and on. I still teach out of this, as you can see by all these markers I've got in the book. Let's go to some classics. I am an avid disciple, that's a good word, of Andrew Murray. And so I was able to collect The Secret of God's Presence, Power in Prayer, Absolute Surrender. It's one with some markings in them. And then there's Waiting on God and With Christ in the School of Prayer. I think it's one of my favorite Andrew Murray books. I have not yet read Andrew Murray and his message, but it is high up on my list to do one of these days. Coming to more classics. Oh, Watchman Nee, The Chinese Man. Oh, Sit, Walk and Stand out of the book of Ephesians. It is a life changer. You will never be the same, and you will never read Ephesians again the way you used to. Richard Foster. I like this book so much that I decided to summarize it. And now we are teaching it at our discipleship course, A Celebration of Discipline. And it is really a foundational book, I believe, for all Christians to read. And then when I started off in missions, I ended up in the kitchen. Well, that's where I started, in the kitchen. And if only somebody knew how I struggled. You know, I went to the mission field to change the world. And to end up in the kitchen, cooking for other people to change the world, was was very difficult for me. But if only somebody gave me The Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence, who operated a kitchen in a 15th century can't remember exactly, monastery. And he practiced the presence of God in the midst of daily back and forth. And it really changed my life. Then I have a couple of books on prayer. And they are a number. Brother Andrew. I'm sure you know God Smuggler. And he wrote many books. His book on prayer is excellent. Then there is The Hour That Changes the World. I never knew, how am I supposed to pray for 1 hour? Well, this is it. The Hour That Changes the World. A book that I think must change anybody's life is The Ragamuffin Gospel. It is also an authentic Christian classic. Don't miss Brennan Manning and The Ragamuffin Gospel. Oh, Jim Cymbala, The Brooklyn Tabernacle in New York City. People, if you want to read an extraordinary book, actually anything that this man has ever written is so deeply humble and so extraordinary, life-changing, you cannot miss Jim Cymbala. And just revival, Leonard Ravenhill. But I can't take him in big doses. So even though I bought this book 10 years ago, I've only been through it halfway, because you read a little bit and you feel so convicted, that you just simply have to put it down for a while and just say, Lord, forgive me. But Leonard Ravenhill, an incredible classical book. And now I would like to tell you about this huge pile of books here. It starts with John Stott. People, My Teachers. And all of these books, can I tell you, these are missionary biographies. And I am the original book girl, Sarah Clarkson. You cannot miss this one. If you don't know what to read on a rainy day, on a sunny day, when you're tired, when you're happy, Sarah Clarkson, the book girl. I trust and believe that you too will find great joy in reading, as I do. For this is how I pause and breathe.